What's up, guys? Welcome back to Roots and Culture Travel. I am Chelsea S. Porter, and today I'm going to talk to you about moving abroad. So today's video is actually inspired by the women at Black Women Travel. If you don't know, it's a travel group on Facebook. I don't really like too many expat groups and Facebook groups. They can be a bit catty and a bit egotistical, but I do have to say that Black Women Travel is full of a lot of really amazing women, and it's just got a really nice vibe. People are really helpful and are a Black woman looking to travel and socialize and connect with other Black women, then you might want to check it out. So I have lived on 4 different continents: North America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. And I am also moving back to Europe, so that'll be my second stint in Europe very soon here. So I always get a lot of questions, and I always have a lot of information to share about moving abroad and kind of what you should be doing and looking for and how to pick a place. So today I'm going to start with some tips on actually deciding on where you want to live and how to pick a place to move. So first, I know you have a few ideas and suggestions for yourself that you are already thinking of. So what I want you to do is actually, let's get a sheet of paper or notebook and let's write it down. So maybe write down at the top of the sheet like your first 3 to 5 options. As you've been thinking about this, where is it that you want to go? What places are already in the top of your mind? So write those at the top of your paper. And now we're going to ask some questions to see if those places actually fit into the types of things that you want to be looking at, from my point of view, to make your life happy and successful abroad. So the first question that I have for you is, what is your goal? There are a lot of different goals that we may have. The first time that I moved abroad, actually, I moved because I was just depressed and really sad. So my husband had passed away and I was just going through a deep depression, and so I moved looking for spiritual growth. I started having health issues after he passed away, so healthcare, spirituality were actually 2 of the most important things to me. So those were things that went at the top of my list. As I have been traveling to different countries and moving to different countries over the past 10 years, those values have changed. So education has become at the forefront, quality of life has become at the forefront. So it kind of depends on what is most important to you. What are your goals for moving abroad? Are you looking to start a business in a different country? Are you looking to further your education while you're in a different country? Are you looking to maybe enhance your quality of life? Do you have children? Would you like to be able to afford a nanny, a driver, a cook? What kinds of things are really important to you? Another one that I think should be at the top of everybody's list that people don't think about and take so seriously is weather. What weather is ideal for you? Do you have health problems that will stop you from being able to exist happily in cold weather? I know that I do. I can only live in places that get so cold. Otherwise, I'm absolutely miserable. Do you have seasonal depression? Do you need sunlight? Do you hate the sun and feel sweaty and icky? If you don't like the weather of a place that you're going to live, your day-to-day life is not going to be very enjoyable. So what weather, what temperatures are ideal for you? Something else that is very important to think about is infrastructure. So let's go back to your goals. If your goals are quality of life, that might include something like being able to garden every day. So you're maybe looking for a place that's a little bit more off the beaten path, off the grid, not in a city, in a country style life. So if that's what you're looking for, what does that infrastructure look like in that country? Can you live in the country and have your garden, have your cows, or whatever it is that you want to have, and still have electricity, water, internet? Do you need those things to survive? You might have this beautiful idea of living in the countryside and gardening every day, but working online. Is that going to be feasible? What are the electricity rates in that country? How expensive is it to live off of that electricity that you might need? What are the Wi-Fi rates in that country? How expensive is it if you're trying to work online? And are your ideals really matching up with reality? Another thing that's really important to think about is culture. So we all have our own culture, and I don't mean race. Let me just say, for my Black women and women of color that are watching, culture and race are two totally different things. You can be from the same race but have very different cultures, right? So you need to think about, what culture do you want to live in? I actually have found that living in Europe is easier for me culturally than living in an Eastern African environment. Even though I see Black people all day long and it's very beautiful and it's very nice to be visually surrounded with that sight, culturally, for me personally, it's very difficult. I have a much more aggressive personality. I have a much more loud and boisterous personality, and I just don't fit in. However, when I'm living in Czech Republic, I have friends from all different countries. I'm able to not feel so odd for being a first generation. A lot of my friends are very ethnically diverse and mixed, and also first generation. So my culture and my ethnicity, it does not stand out nearly as much in Europe, in Czech Republic, as it does in East Africa. So what is your culture, and what kind of cultural environment do you want to live in? Are you a Christian? Do you want to be around Muslims all the time, every day? Now, that might look different than what you think, but what if there's call to prayer instead of, gospel music playing? How are you going to feel about that? And is that something that you're open to? What do you like to do on the weekends? Are you a person that likes to go out and party and have a great time? The countries that you're looking at, is that culture accepted there? How would you need to dress in this country? I personally love living in really hot weather places, but I cannot live a place that's also very religious, because I like to walk around in shorts and tank tops in 95-degree weather as much as possible. I don't like to be covered up all the time. So I have to find places that balance, my culture and my way of life, how I like to live. The last thing that I will say that you should ask yourself and think about are, what are the actual visa restrictions on living there? If you do a Google search and put in visa-free countries and into your country name here, you can find a list of all the places that your country's passport is accepted and for how long. So you also need to do some research on, what is it going to be like to actually live there legally, right? Do you have 6 months that you can go visa free? I have lived like that for a very long time, living in a country for 6 months and then leaving and going to another country, or going back to my home country. And that's how I have been able to live a lot of places for 6 months on and 6 months off. You might have more options than you thought. You might have less options than you thought. Can you go to a country for 3 months and check it out and see how you enjoy it before you make a decision? I definitely think that it's important to spend some time in a country before you move there, when you can. However, the first time I moved abroad, I did not live in Prague. The first place I moved to was Prague, Czech Republic, and I did not move and stay and visit. I did a lot of research online. I had my goals in mind. I had my limits and my cultural expectations, and these are the things that I researched. So these are some just suggestions that I have. If you are looking to live abroad, how you can figure out where you want to go and what place is going to be good for you. Of course, there will be more than one answer, and maybe you can investigate those over a longer period of time. But I wanted to share some of these tips with you today, so I hope that you found them helpful. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a big fat thumbs up and click the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.